When I think of a champion, what I think of greatness is someone that is inevitable, and it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, because I think people forget in 2023 when you faced the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, didn't end like you wanted, but you actually put that moment as the wallpaper on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Is that still on your cell phone, or what do you have now as a wallpaper?
It hasn't changed.
Number one in your program and number one in your heart.
How you doing?
This morning, one-on-one with Jalen Hurts. After taking home the title last season,
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
the Eagles now with a clean slate, hoping to fly to another Super Bowl victory.
You ready? Good?
No, I take these cards. I don't need these cards.
Okay.
What's you
I don't need
ready?
these cards. I don't need these cards. I don't need no stinking script. I'm talking to Jalen Hurts. That is the home
Yeah.
of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, ladies and gentlemen.
And a new season begins.
Here at the Eagles practice facility, Jalen's been putting in the work and training around the clock. Sitting across from me right now is the reigning Super Bowl MVP. So how does that impact you going into the season, having won it all last year?
The only way it impacts me is that it's in the past. You know, it's in the past, and it's something that will not help me accomplish anything in this upcoming season. So when I really, really think about it competitively, you know, the drive is always going to be there. The passion is always going to be there. And the desire to grow is always going to be there. And so as long as those things are there, and, you know, what's done in the past doesn't really matter. About onward and forward and trying to be the best version of yourself you can be and be the best leader and quarterback and be for the team.
So you don't feel any pressure when, you know, fans are like back to back. They want the back-to-back championship.
Yeah, it's you know, everyone has that perspective, and I know everybody's hungry for certain things to come into reality. But as a player, you take it one game at a time, and so that's what we're doing.
And you talk about evolving, and you have always been about that. And so how, people always want to know, an elite athlete like yourself, what drives you?
What drives me? You know, I think passion is one thing that'll always have to be there for you to do something that you love. It'll have to be passion. It'll have to be the reflection of all the late nights and early mornings, the time invested, the equity put in. That drives me because it's important. And the ultimate goal of doing something bigger than yourself and it being a team game and, you know, being in a very pivotal position on the field and making sure, you know, everything is in where it's supposed to be. And so those things drive me, and I take great pride in all three of those things.
The rich get richer in Philadelphia. The Eagles are reportedly acquiring Jaguars running back Tank Bigsby in exchange for a 5th and 6th round draft pick. Bigsby only had 5 carries for 12 yards in the season opener against the Panthers. He led the Jaguars in rushing in the 2024 season, and now he has a new home in the city of brotherly love. Let's dive into the news from a fantasy perspective and welcome in our fantasy expert, 2-time fantasy analyst of the year, Jamie Eisenberg. Jamie, the Eagles add to one of the best backfields in the NFL, led by Saquon Barkley. Now behind him, we've seen glimpses from Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon, and now they add the leading rusher from the Jaguars last season. What does this move mean for Tank Bigsby?
Well, it takes him from a potential starter, because he could have still earned that job in Jacksonville, Madeline, to now he's definitely going to be a backup. He's going to certainly have a role with Philadelphia. I don't think they make this move to just make him simply a backup, break glass in case of emergency type of player, but he's not going to have the opportunity, like you said, to potentially lead the team in rushing like he did in Jacksonville last year, and still could have this year as well, because even though Travis Etienne got off to a great start in week 1, there were still some questions about who would be the leading rusher in Jacksonville moving forward. But I think for Bigsby by himself, for fantasy managers, now you know who to target target just in case something does happen to Saquon Barkley. Now, unfortunately, he's going to be on a lot of people's rosters. He may get dropped over the next few days as waivers run because you might have to make some moves looking for the hope that Bigsby was going to become something Jacksonville to moving on to finding someone who could help your roster in a different way. But based on what happened to Saquon Barkley last year, the fact that he had all that work just in case something does happen in case of an injury, this guy's got a chance to be a superstar because we know the Eagles' offensive line is fantastic. He's never going to be Saquon Barkley. Don't ever put that on the poor kid, for him to become that type of player just yet. But he certainly would be a top 20 caliber fantasy running back if Barkley ever missed any time. So when we talk about handcuffs and lottery tickets, Tank Bigsby now falls into that category, but he's not going to be someone you can rely on a week-to-week basis.
Yo, Eagles Nation. What's good? It's your boy, coming at you with the hottest NFL news that's got Philly buzzing like never before. Can you believe it? The 2025 season just kicked off, and the Eagles are already stacking wins and trades like they're building a dynasty. Fresh off that gritty Week 1 victory over the Cowboys, where Jalen Hurts bulldozed for 62 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, Howie Roseman is out here wheeling and dealing. We're talking major upgrades that could make this team unstoppable. Hit that like button if you're hyped, subscribe for more Eagles fire, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat. Today, we're diving deep into the Tank Bigsby trade. Is this the cheat code Philly needs? But first, let's talk about that defensive beast they just added. But hold up, this Bigsby bombshell comes hot on the heels of another massive move. Let's break down how Za'Darius Smith fits into this puzzle first. Alright, let's get real. Just days ago, the Eagles locked in veteran pass rusher Za'Darius Smith on a 1-year deal worth up to $9 million. This guy's a certified quarterback nightmare. In 2024 alone, he racked up 17 QB hits and 9 sacks split between the Browns and Lions after a midseason trade. Traded to Detroit for a 2025 fifth and 2026 sixth rounder, Smith brings that edge-rushing fire Philly craves. Imagine him pairing with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Sacks galore. In his career, Smith's tallied over 60 sacks, proving he's still elite at 32. This move screams Super Bowl hunger, Eagles fans. No more soft spots on D. With the defense fortified, the Eagles didn't stop there. Now they're loading up the backfield with a beast who could redefine their run game. Enter Tank Bigsby. Boom. Breaking news that has Jaguars fans scratching their heads and Eagles faithful fist-pumping. Philadelphia trades a 2026 fifth and sixth round pick to Jacksonville for running back Tank Bigsby. This isn't just any backup. Bigsby was poised to start for the Jags, but after barely touching the ball in Week 1, it all clicks. Trade talks were brewing, and they sat him to avoid injury. Now, he's ours. At 215 pounds, Bigsby's built like a tank, pun intended, and his addition to a backfield with Saquon Barkley screams depth dominance. Is this the A.J. Dillon replacement? Dillon's got 3 carries for 10 yards so far this season, but Bigsby's upside is massive. But why pull the trigger now? Let's unpack the logic behind this Week 1 mystery and what it means for both teams. Eagles fans, this trade makes total sense when you rewind to Week 1. Bigsby, who exploded for 132 yards and 2 TDs on 50 carries in 2023, was shockingly glued to the bench. Minimal snaps, barely any touches. Why? Insider buzz says trade negotiations with Philly were underway, and Jacksonville played it safe to prevent injury. Smart, but brutal for fantasy owners. Meanwhile, the Eagles saw their run-heavy offense shine, rushing for over 150 yards total in the win. But they know depth is key in a grueling season. With Barkley's history of nicks, he's missed 23 games career-wise. Bigsby steps in as insurance. This guy's an alpha, ready to rumble. Now that we've got the why, let's get hyped on the what. Tank Bigsby's skill set is straight fire. Time for film room. Listen up, because Tank Bigsby is no joke. Over 34 career games, he's averaged 2.6 yards per carry in limited action. But don't sleep on his explosiveness. He's a downhill destroyer. Loves stiff-arming fools like he did to Jalen Ramsey last year. No breakaway speed like Barkley's 4.40-yard dash. But Bigsby's one-cut ability is elite. Quick foot plant, boom, gone. In college at Auburn, he rushed for 2,903 yards and 25 TDs. In the NFL, his frame screams short yardage king. As a backup, he could spell Barkley, career 5,211 rushing yards, 37 TDs, and keep defenses guessing. Eagles fans, this dude's got that alpha vibe. He can be the guy if needed. Stats are cool, But film doesn't lie. Let's dive into the tape and see why Bigsby's one cut is a game changer. All right, roll the tape. Check this out. From the 1 yard line, Bigsby gets the handoff. Boom, one cut, plants that foot in the dirt, and he's off for a nice gain. No elite top-end speed for 80-yard house calls. But his acceleration? Chef's kiss. Good for 1-0-3-0-yard bursts every time. Another gem. Misdirection play, fakes one way, cuts back, explodes for 5-0-6-0 yards before getting pushed out. He stiff arms like a boss, runs through you, not around. In 12 personnel, toss play, attacks the hole north-south, breaks an arm tackle for 1-6-1-7 yards. This vicious downhill style, perfect for Philly's run-heavy scheme, where they averaged 4.5 yards per carry in Week 1. Unstoppable. Bigsby's got the tools, but how does he stack up against our current backs? Let's compare and see the versatility boost. You might be wondering, why add Bigsby when we've got Will Shipley, 3 carries, 26 yards, 8.7 average in Week 1, and A.J. Dillon? Versatility. Baby. Shipley's a shifty pass catcher, different vibe, more east-west than Bigsby's north-south hammer. Dillon's solid, career 2,428 yards, 16 TDs. But at 3.3 average this year, Bigsby could replace him outright. Behind Barkley, 91 games, 5,211 yards. This creates a three-headed monster. If Saquon needs rest, knock on wood, Bigsby's ready for starter reps. Eagles depth chart now. Barkley RB1, Bigsby divided by Shipley battling for RB2, Dillon possibly cut from the 53-man. This is depth on steroids. The trade cost is a steal, but it signals big plans. Let's talk compensation and why Philly's all in. For a 5th and 6th rounder? That's highway robbery. You don't surrender 2 picks unless you're planning heavy usage. Howie Roseman loves explosiveness. And Bigsby's one cut fits like a glove. This tells me Tank's not riding pine. Expect 8-1-0 touches per game, easing Barkley's 18-carry load. Jaguars get draft capital. Eagles get a proven back. Win-win, but Philly's the real winner here. Fans, you're gonna love this dude's grit. We've seen the skills. Now more film to hype you up further. This guy's plays are electric. One more for the road. Pull guard play. Bigsby hits space. Vicious downhill. Plants. Cuts. Leaves number. 43 on skates. That's dirty. His best move. Upfield burst. 1. Cut evasion for chunk yards. Not Saquon-level speed, but enough for 20-plus gains. In Philly's offense, which ran the ball 35 times in Week 1, he'll thrive. Tough to break down RBs without O-line credit, but Bigsby's style screams success. Eagles fans, comment below. Love the trade? Hate it? How many snaps for Tank? While Philly upgrades, what about Jacksonville? Let's see how this shakes their backfield. Jags fans, tough break. Losing Bigsby means more Travis Etienne, career 3,000-plus yards, as RB1, with rookies like Keelan Robinson stepping up on third downs. Depth chart. Etienne, Tutin, maybe more pass catchers. Not panicking, but Bigsby's departure leaves a hole. In Philly, he's utilized way more than Week 1's scraps. Curious, how quick does Tank play? With Barkley and Shipley, maybe 20% snaps initially. Speaking of the season, NFL's back, and so is our sponsor, Sleeper app, with easy money picks. The NFL season is lit, and I'm pumped to partner with Sleeper app. Use code MADDY for a 100% match up to $100. Drop $100, get $100 bonus. No brainer. My picks. Jaden Daniels over 0.5 passing yards. Easy. TJ Hawkinson over 42.5 receiving yards versus Minnesota. Bet $10 to win $30. Locked in. Terms apply. 25 states. Link in description. Check it out. Back to the action. With Bigsby in, how's this impacting Eagles' depth in the league rankings? Eagles' depth. Saquon RB1, 60 YDS, Week 1. Shipley RB2, Bigsby RB3. Dillon might hit the practice squad like Audric Estime. Kenny Gainwell's gone to Steelers, so Bigsby fills that void perfectly. In a run-heavy attack, 150-plus YDS Week 1. More bodies mean fresher legs. If Barkley misses time, Tank starts. 3 trusted backs for starter reps. Genius. All this firepower has Philly soaring in the rankings. Let's check Week 2 power rankings. Week 1 surprises shook the league. Clutch points rankings. 1. Bills. +2. After Josh Allen's 22-point fourth-quarter frenzy, Keon Coleman, over 100 yards. 2. Eagles, no change. Hurts dual-threat magic. 152 pass YDS. 62 rush. 2 TDs. But A.J. Brown quiet. 1 catch. 8 YDS. Need more targets for him and Devonta Smith. 3. Ravens, -2, melted down, allowing 28 second-half points despite Derrick Henry's 169 YDS. 4. Packers dominated Lions 2-7-1-3. Jordan Love 188 YDS divided by 2 TDs. Josh Jacobs TD. 5. Broncos no change. Edge Titans, sacking Cam Ward 6 times. Bo Nix TD but 2 INTs. Eagles at number 2. With Bigsby and Smith. They're climbing. What a ride. But before we wrap, let's hype the future impact. Man, Tank Bigsby in green? Huge for Philly. His one-cut, stiff-arm style adds nuance to a stacked backfield, linking seamlessly with Barkley's elusiveness. Numerical edge. Boosts rush attempts per game. Reduces wear. Emotional? This trade's dramatic. From Jags bench to Eagles hero. Serious report. Depth wins championships. Fans, is this worth it? Comment, that's the scoop. Time to sign off, but stay tuned for more. Eagles fans, this Tank Bigsby trade is an absolute cheat code. Depth, power, hype. Hit like if you're excited. Subscribe, join the family, notifications on. What do you think? Drop comments. Peace out. Fly. Eagles fly.